I am Rebecca Morrison. I'm 28 years old. I live in Brooklyn. For years, I called myself a feminist, a warrior for social justice, or so I thought. But everything changed in just a few hours. On New Year's Eve, a distant friend invited me to their home. Until that night, I had never tried drugs. I was terrified, but my lack of faith had already pushed me into this emptiness. As the night went on, one of my friends injected my arm. As the drug entered my veins, my eyelids grew heavy. A floating sensation, then a void. At first, it felt good, infinite peace. But within seconds, that peace turned into an indescribable fear. I was falling, plunging into endless darkness. At first, I thought my brain was playing tricks on me. This is just a neurochemical illusion, a hallucination, that's all. But my body was gone. I couldn't feel anything. It was as if I had ceased to exist. Only consciousness remained. And then, terror. My chest tightened. Everything darkened. Something was approaching me. Suddenly, the emptiness around me tore apart. Hands, or were they claws, grabbed my arms and started dragging me down. I screamed. I struggled. But my voice reached nowhere. This can't be real. This is a dream. I'm not dead. But nothing changed. As my eyes adjusted to the darkness, I saw their silhouettes. Disgusting demons. They were pitch black, with twisted horns. They had no eyes, but I felt them watching me. Their claws tore into my skin, but I felt no pain. Not physical, at least. They grabbed me, yanking me down. A swirling abyss of shadows consumed me. Screams filled the void, but they weren't mine. Thousands, maybe millions of voices. Souls lost, trapped in eternity. As I fell deeper, the scene changed. A world dominated by red, black, and grey emerged. No ground, no sky. Flames hung in the air as if frozen. It looked like hell, yet unlike anything I had imagined. Surreal, yet undeniable. Then before me, a towering figure appeared, at least 5 meters tall. A gatekeeper, a warden, I didn't know. But the moment I saw it, my very cells trembled. It had no face, yet I felt its gaze piercing through me. I knew I shouldn't look at it. And then, I was falling into hell. The first thing I noticed was the smell. A stench so vile it burned my throat, made me gag, and stole my breath. Burning flesh, rotting corpses, mold and sulfur. As if this odor had seeped into existence itself. My stomach churned, but I couldn't even vomit. I looked around. The atmosphere was both dark and bright at once. The fire illuminated everything, yet true light never came. There was no sky. When I looked up, I saw only endless void. The air was unbearably heavy. It felt like a weight pressed against my chest. Each breath seared my lungs. There was no oxygen here, only suffering. I looked down. Pools of molten metal, chained people, bodies torn to shreds. Were they human? Beasts? The difference no longer mattered. The screams filled every corner. Infinite, echoing, never-ending wails. My heart pounded. My legs weakened. I started to cry. "How is this possible?" I whispered. My voice was so faint, it was as if I was speaking to myself. Reality was collapsing. As long as I was here, there was no logic, no sanity, no escape. Then I saw familiar faces. At first, I didn't recognize them, but my eyes seemed drawn to them. And then, women I once saw as warriors for freedom. All of them chained. Large, monstrous beings loomed over them, crushing them, silencing them. They resisted, but they had no strength. The very system they once fought against, patriarchy, had become a physical force, weighing them down. But no one came to help. They were trapped inside an endless hall of mirrors. They looked at their reflections, but their faces kept shifting. Male, female, human? Nothing was certain anymore. They screamed, but their voices only echoed back. It was as if they had forgotten who they were. Their very identities had been swallowed by their own emptiness. They reached out, begging for help, but no one listened. Their faces were distorted, their mouths moved, yet no sound came out. The crowds that once applauded them were gone. They waited for support, but there was none. Only loneliness remained. And then I saw my old friends, the addicts, the people I once did drugs with in the name of freedom. All of them were chained, their bodies convulsed, but no one would give them what they craved. It was as if they were stuck in an eternal withdrawal. But here, the withdrawal would last forever. Here is the translation while keeping the character count unchanged. Hedonists. Those who believed life was only about pleasure. They writhe on the ground in twisted forms. They reach out, but there's nothing to grasp. Their bodies are now empty shells. Atheists and unbelievers. People like me. They stare at me. There's desperation in their eyes. They know they were wrong, but it's too late. My chest tightens. I drop to my knees. I thought I didn't belong here. But now, I'm no different from them. As the screams around me rise like a storm, I feel the demons closing in. I can't run. I can't move. I feel the terror waiting for me in every cell of my body. I try to step back, but my feet are weightless. I'm trapped. A chilling chuckle echoes behind me. The sound is so cold, so piercing it makes me sick. I turn my head, and there it is. A towering horned creature with pitch black eyes. The moment we lock gazes, my mind burns. There's no logic here, no time, no escape. Judgment time. It doesn't move its mouth. The words thunder inside my head, as if they were my own thoughts. It knows me better than I know myself. You thought you wanted freedom, but you chained yourself. My whole life flashes before me. The ideologies I shouted, my cries of, "No one tells me what to do," my belief that my body was mine alone. Yet now I feel the heaviest chains of all. You embraced immorality, but now you've lost your soul. My eyes burn. At first, it feels like heat pressing in, then like fire consuming them from within. I try to close them, but it's as if they're filled with boiling liquid. My vision blurs. I can't see anything clearly anymore. You rejected God. Who will save you now? Something inside me shatters. I realize there is nothing here to save me. For years, I felt powerful in my defiance, confident in my rejection of God. But now, that power means nothing. I collapse to my knees. I have nothing left. And the torment begins. My tongue is cut, because I never spoke the truth. In life, I only use words for my own gain. Truth was a tool, never my purpose. Now I can't speak. I open my mouth, but no words come out. I don't even know if my tongue is still there. The pain is endless. My eyes burn, because I refuse to see. I once viewed the world through my own truths. Now I see nothing. Darkness swallows me, but the flames around me never fade. Fire pours over my hands, because I used them for the wrong things. I once claimed my body was mine, but I had misused it. My hands burn, flames pouring from my palms, but I don't die. Death is impossible here. Then, something changes. Suddenly, I can't remember who I am. Who was Rebecca Morrison? A feminist from Brooklyn, an activist, an atheist, a social media warrior. Suddenly, all of it vanishes. Who am I? Who was I? No one. Nothing. I was nothing. I thought I was free. But in truth, I had never even existed. And as I feel myself fading into nothingness, for the first time I cry out sincerely, God, help me! The darkness rips apart. It's as if my scream has echoed through hell and forced open a door. Suddenly, the flames die, the screams fade, and my soul is pulled from the abyss. A cold rush engulfs me, piercing my skin, filling my lungs. And then, I breathe. When I open my eyes, I'm in a hospital room. At first, the light burns, the fluorescent lamps, the beeping machines, the IV tubes. My lungs expand, but breathing hurts. My body is drenched in sweat. But the strangest thing is this. I feel peace. I don't fully understand what just happened. Was it real? A hallucination? A trick of my mind? But no logical explanation is enough to deny what I experienced. Something changed. I changed. I can never think the same way again. I cannot reject this experience. Atheism now feels like a hollow idea. I once believed truth was in my hands, but now I see. I knew nothing. I see the emptiness of the modern world, everything I once fought for. The beliefs I built my identity upon crumble before my eyes like a collapsed building. People chase pleasure, identity politics, ego, and false freedoms. But real freedom is none of these. I want to seek the real truth. From now on, I want to dedicate my life to God. I'm not who I was. The name Rebecca Morrison, along with my old identity, is in the past. I can't return to that world, those thoughts, that emptiness. Most of what made me was an illusion. I leave behind false freedom, denial, and hedonism. Everything that promised me independence had actually chained me. And now, I will no longer carry those chains. I am setting out on a journey to seek truth in this world. I once turned my back on God. Now, I have no choice but to turn toward Him. There is peace within me, but also a great responsibility. Because now I know truth exists, reality exists, and I must find it. From now on, I will not walk blindly. I will walk in the light of truth.